Welcome back to another episode of Whiteboard Jiu-Jitsu. Today, let's go over it. What is Jiu-Jitsu? Okay, Jiu-Jitsu is actually a Japanese term meaning gentle art. Okay, so if you ever see the word Jiu-Jitsu spelled J-U at the beginning, that's the Japanese version. That's more of a martial art, like a combat system used for close combat that can be used to kill or subdue a weaponless opponent. Okay, meaning the samurai would use this if they got knocked off their horse, they didn't have their sword on them, and they had to do hand-to-hand combat, they would use jiu-jitsu. Okay, to make this story shorter, let's go to the 1920s. Some Japanese guy came to Brazil, started teaching his family, the Gracies, judo and jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. And like this Gracie family was supposed to be like a smaller type family, like smaller in stature. So they weren't good at the judo, the takedown part of it. So they got really good at the niwaza, which is the ground game more. And that kind of turned into Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And with that, a lot more schools opened up in Brazil, and they started like having competitions to see which school taught the best jiu-jitsu, you know. So that's how it kind of came into a sport, you know, and that's kind of like how the IBJJF came evolved. A lot of times Brazilians are like, oh, you know, Americans ruined jiu-jitsu, they made it into a sport and stuff like that. But if you really look at it, IBJJF is the biggest jiu-jitsu tournament company there is. Gracie owns it. So don't get all caught up with the smoke and mirrors of, you know, Gracie's is all about self-defense and stuff like that. They're real heavy into sport jiu-jitsu. The owner of Gracie Barra, that's the same owner as IBJJF. So Brazilians, they did a lot for jiu-jitsu. They also did a lot to bring jiu-jitsu to America. And with that, that's where you get American jiu-jitsu. So once it came to America, literally it just kind of like blew up. All the major tournaments, the Worlds, ADCC, it's all at America. If you're really good at jiu-jitsu from another country, you kind of just come to America to teach. There's just a little bit more money out there. So naturally, America just became the heart of jiu-jitsu. Like, say if you want to learn jiu-jitsu and like you want to go to a town filled with jiu-jitsu, go to San Diego. Okay, go to San Diego, go to Austin, Texas. Those two towns right now in America are like the heart of jiu-jitsu. So that being said, there's a new style called American jiu-jitsu. It's more takedown-ish. Also, we like our footlocks. Brazilians didn't like their footlocks. In fact, they had a derogatory name for it. I'm not sure how to say it in Portuguese, but it mainly meant shoe shiner. So if you were attacking the footlocks, they'd call you this word that meant shoe shiner. It's real derogatory because, you know, the shoe shiner isn't kind of like the best job. But Americans, you know, we love our wrestling, we love our takedowns, and we like our footlocks. So we kind of made Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu our style with like heavy takedowns and footlocks and stuff like that. And we're definitely heavy sport oriented. We love our sports. We love competition. So when we talk about jiu-jitsu, we also got to talk about the two different categories of jiu-jitsu. We have gi, which is like what I'm wearing now, the kimono, the karate outfit. With the gi, you also get promoted through the belt system and all that stuff. And then we have no gi, which is basically gi without the gi. When you're not wearing the gi, there's no belts, so there's no promotions. You gotta understand, I came from a 9-year wrestling background to where you didn't get promoted. You neither won challenges, got varsity, or you weren't. So you don't need promotions to make yourself feel better. Go out there, compete, and win, and that should make yourself feel better. If you want to get promoted through the belt, wear the gi. Put the gi on, okay? Don't do no gi and then get promoted and then not even know how to tie the belt. You should go back to the other episode of how to tie the belt. But anyways, I hope this helps out, clears up like the big picture of jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is a martial art, also a combat sport with no striking in it. And to me, it's the most powerful. Even if you're in a street fight, you don't want to punch someone because even if you're a trained fighter and you punch someone, you're probably going to break your hand. Like if you watch professional bare knuckle fighting, they still wear hand wraps. So if you're fighting someone to the death and you punch someone, you break your hand, they're still conscious. You still got to fight. How are you even going to end that fight to kill them? with a broken hand, you can't even get a choke anymore. So to me, if I'm gonna strike someone, it's gonna be like elbows, knees, and then I'm gonna leave my hand safe so I could actually get a choke, which will ultimately kill the person in the fight. So if we're actually talking about self-defense, jiu-jitsu is the best for self-defense. And if we're talking about sport, jiu-jitsu is the funnest sport there is. So do it.